Okay, Tech Math 2, 9.10. We're taking a look at the sine wave. And so when we think about the sine wave, we did the tangent already. So the sine wave goes on infinitely in both directions. We've got this sinusoid, just up and down forever. Up and down forever. So that means if they ask, hey, when is the arc sine 0.7? They're asking what degree, creates 0.7043. And if you put that into your calculator, that will kick out about 45 degrees, which is right here. So if we think about this, though, 0.7043 happens infinitely. It happens there, it happens there, it happens there. It happens back over here. Two more times. Infinite amount of times, okay? But they only want it from 0 to 360. So they want us to box this off. They only want us to look in this little box from there to there. And so then we're down to just two answers. That's two blanks. Now, the calculator kicked out one of the answers. It kicked out the 45 degrees. That's great. Now, how are we going to find that other one? Well, we can use reference points. It's a symmetric graph. So here's 90, here's 180, here's 270, here's 360. So there's symmetry all over the place. So from 0 to 45 degrees, that means if I go from 180, I could do 180 minus 45 to find the other one, the 135. Okay. Another way to look at that, some students hate looking at the sine graph like that, the sinusoid. You could do a unit circle and think of it as all-star trig class. All-star trig class. Where we're looking at it and saying, okay, well, 45 degrees is right there. And then it's positive in the first and the second quadrant because it's sine. So we'd want a reference angle of 45 degrees. And if we think about that, then that's 180 minus 45 again. Still 135. So either way that you look at it, it's 135 degrees. All right, so I think they gave us an uglier one. We're going to do second sine on our calculator and then put in negative 0.2195. Hit enter, round to a whole number. It should be 193. 193 degrees. Hold on, let's double check that because that might not be 193 degrees. If I take the arc sine of negative 0.2195, it actually kicks out negative 13 degrees, 12 point. So that doesn't tell me 193, it tells me negative 13 degrees. So now how did I get 193? Well, negative 13 on my calculator happens right here. But that's outside of my realm here. We're looking at this, and they want these two that are in the box. It's in the box from 0 to 360. So what we're going to do with this 13 degrees is add 180 to it. It's negative 13 degrees, I understand, but it's 180 degrees farther from here. Like, it's 13 degrees here to 0. And then if I take from that 0 and go 13 degrees away, that would be the 193. So that's actually how we got the 193. We took 180 degrees plus 13 degrees. Whew, glad we double checked that on the calculator. All right. And now we also want this one. Well, let's do that 13 degree trick again from 360. And so when we subtract that off, we get the 347 for the other one. And again, after you get the 193 or even the negative 13, any of those look, we could, the negative 13 would have coincided with the 347. So look, I put it in my calculator, it tells me negative 13 degrees. That is this angle. Well, we never want it expressed in that format. We want to go counterclockwise, not clockwise. So we would take 360 minus the 13, and so 347 degrees. So this negative 13 that the calculator kicked out to begin with was actually the answer for that angle. They just didn't give it as 347, they gave it as negative 13, which they're coterminal. Then we would have needed to find the other angle. Well, where else is sine negative? That would be down here. And so that would put a 13 degree angle right there, which would mean 180 plus 13 degrees to get me the 193. So that was the 193. So that was a trickier one. Again, don't worry about these. I don't think you're going to have to worry about these. I don't think any of them, not like this hard, made it onto any tests that we're going to still take this semester. All right, on to the next one.